Hey everyone, Dan Mortimer with eXp Realty, and it is time for our October 2024 Las Vegas Henderson market update. This is data that I pulled directly from our MLS. It's compiled by some title companies that we work with here in town, and so we can all have our opinions. We can share our perspectives on the market, what we think is going to happen, what might happen, but ultimately no one can determine that. The best thing that we can look at is looking at the historical data, look at the trends, and see what direction our market is going so that you can make the decision that's best for you. If you're thinking about buying, selling, renting, whatever it may be, using this data can kind of help guide you through that process. So let's jump into the data. This is again for October of 2024. And we're going to go through sales prices, closed sales, and new listings that hit the market. So let's jump into the median sales price first. There are two kind of classes of properties that we will go over in this video. There's single family homes. That is an existing structure. It's not attached to another property like a townhome or a condo. It stands on its own, has its own lot, and that's what we say when we mean single family home or a single family residence. And then you also have condos and townhomes. Townhomes, they typically have their own vertical space, but they share a wall with the unit next door. Maybe it's two in a row, maybe it's 4, 5, 6 in a row, maybe it's a whole string of them along the street. But just a little bit of a distinction there. And then a condo it has its own distinct space, but usually there's not much land associated with it. And you could be just like when you think of an apartment, a condo is, you have one on one floor, one on another floor, and then they share walls with neighboring condos in a community. So that's what we mean when we say condo or townhome, as opposed to single family home or single family residence. Okay, let's jump into the data. So in October 2024, the median single family home sold for $475,531. Comparing that to last year's numbers, when I say year over year growth, I'm comparing October 2023 to October 2024. And then when I talk about month over month data, I'm talking about October 2024 versus September of 2024. Just for clarification purposes, as we dive further into the numbers, I'm trying to minimize the confusion as much as possible because I get this is a lot of data. So $475,531, that is a 5.9% increase year over year compared to last October, but it is a drop of 0.9% from what we saw in September of this year. So a small drop off there month over month. Year over year, the number continues to be very strong. Condos and townhomes, it continues to be bonkers. I mentioned it in my newsletter about a month or so ago, and I've mentioned it a few different times. Condos, townhomes, the median sales price for those properties in October of this year was $315,000. That's a 14.3% year over year increase and a 5.2% month over month increase. That is insanely high. When you think about it, when you think about real estate, when an investor's thinking about real estate appreciation, you're generally thinking the year over year growth is 3 to 5%. To have 5% in a single month for a condo or townhome is insane. It's insane. I mean, you look at the single family 5.9% year over year, condos and townhomes had 5.2% growth month over month. So that's insane. It's part of the reason why the prices are at all-time highs. A lot of people that may be getting priced out of the single family home market because those values have just gotten to be too much to handle. A lot of them have shifted their focus to townhomes and condos so that they can still have some ownership, but maybe not quite at the price of a single family home. So massive, massive growth in that regard. 14% year over year. That's something we haven't seen in a few years. But prices, like I say in my weekly update, prices continue to go up. Even if inventory is going up slightly, the prices continue to go up. Looking at closed sales now. In October 2024, we had 1,918 closed single family home sales. Comparing that to year over year numbers, that's 12.9% growth. A 12.9% increase over last October, and a 7.1% increase from this past September. So again, a lot of growth happening. September was a really, really slow month. So it's good to see the numbers picking back up from October, even if we didn't necessarily see the astronomical crazy amounts of sales that we saw in 2020, 2021, and part of 2022. Going into closed sales for condos and townhomes, there were 540 closed sales of condos and townhomes. That's 13.9% above October of 2023 and 11.1% month over month growth. So again, just continuing to see those numbers climb, number of sales, the prices on condos and townhomes, they're shooting up right now. As far as new listings go, this is something that I allude to a lot in my weekly updates. There were 2,867 new listings that hit the market for single-family homes in October 2024. That's a 22.9% increase from last year-over-year numbers. And then month-over-month, it's a 1.3% growth. So a small growth, but again, we're continuing to kind of see that trend where it's not massive where you're seeing a ton of new listings hitting the market and nothing selling. You're seeing the absorption, you're seeing homes going under contract, but it's not happening quite at the same pace that the homes are coming on the market, which is a good sign for buyers. And it's a good thing for sellers too. It means you do have some competition, but you have to be reasonable with your pricing and make sure that you're making your home as appealing as possible to as many buyers as possible, because you got to kind of compete to get buyers to your door. As far as condos and townhomes, there were 830 new listings in October of 2024. That's a 9.9% increase from last year's numbers. But compared to September 2024, it's a 0.4% drop. So not a huge drop, but it kind of goes in line with the picture that these numbers are painting for us, especially in the condo townhome markets. That's where a lot of first-time home buyers are going. That's where a lot of trade-up and trade-down buyers are going that don't want to have to maintain a yard. They don't need as much space. They don't mind sharing a wall with a neighbor. And so a condo or a townhome makes a lot more sense for them because of the price point. Yes, they do have higher HOA fees typically, but the price point is much more attractive and much more palatable, so they can afford their monthly payments. Now, let's get a quick breakdown of the solds for these homes. So in October 2024, we saw 610 homes were sold with cash, 1,190 were sold with conventional financing, 438 were sold with FHA financing, and 233 were sold with a VA loan. So a few different product types out there. It doesn't necessarily mean that every conventional buyer is putting 20% down. There are so many different programs available. But as you can see, there were a few FHA buyers and some VA buyers, but the bulk of the transactions are coming from either conventional financing or cash buyers in this case, making up, that's almost a fourth of the total sales were cash. So a strong percentage, still lots of interest and investment coming into Las Vegas. Lots of people buying homes for primary residence. I know we see a lot of investor activity as well happening in this market. So lots of different stuff happening. But I think the trend that we're seeing right now is interest rates. Yeah, they haven't necessarily dropped super recently, but they are still lower than they were 6 months ago. And the prices continue to climb. Anybody that was holding out hope that something would change in the election, that all of a sudden we would see home prices just take a nosedive, it still remains to be seen, but we would have to have a significant drop off in buyer demand in town in order for values to drop. And there's just too much demand right now. The only reason it's not busier is because the prices have gotten so high that a few buyers are being priced out. And the few that are getting in, some are getting single family homes, but a lot are going to condos and townhomes to begin that ownership process and start building up equity. So all in all, I think we're going to see this, the inventory continue to kind of climb through the end of the year, but I think we're still going to see strong sales, and I think we're going to see continued activity. We've already seen it as we get into early November. The number of buyers that are actively looking seems to be picking up. And so this is a unique window of opportunity. If you're looking to buy or if you're looking to sell and buy simultaneously, this is a unique window to do it because competition is down. There's not going to be as many people competing for the homes that you're interested in. And so you have a unique opportunity to get favorable terms, better pricing, and most importantly, just not having to compete against multiple buyers on every single home. I know a lot of buyers in 2020 and 2021, they got frustrated because they put offers in on 10, 12 homes, in every single home, they were having to give up due diligence periods. They were having to waive appraisal contingencies. Just the hoops that they had to jump through just to possibly put a home in contract was insane. And aside from that, you were having to go way above price. You were having to come out of pocket for the difference between what the home appraised for and what you were under contract for. It was really, really challenging to navigate. So this is a much more favorable market, really, for both sides. I've said it in a few of my weekly updates as well, but people have been so spoiled, especially homeowners, by how the market was in 2020 through early 2022, that they feel like this is such a slow market. But having been in this industry for about a decade now, this to me represents a healthy market. It's a more balanced market. It's not skewed heavily towards buyers, and it's not skewed heavily towards sellers. It really is much more of a healthy, balanced market where buyers can get favorable terms, but sellers can also sell quickly if they price their home if they price it reasonably. People are, there are definitely buyers out there, and there's still a lot of activity happening. So again, to me, this kind of represents a more balanced market. There may be other professionals in our industry that disagree with me, but having been in this for a while, and especially kind of seeing where our market was right before COVID hit and before things went really, really crazy, this to me represents somewhat of a balanced market. Overall activity is just still lower. A lot of sellers still have tons of equity, and lots of buyers are waiting for a more favorable position to buy, whether that means rates going down, prices going down, maybe a little bit of both. But all in all, I hope you guys got some value out of this. I will continue to keep you updated. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about this market, I try to put out as many videos as possible to give you guys insights into what's going on in the real estate market here. I also like to do property walkthrough videos as well. So please, if you haven't had a chance to already, please subscribe to my channel. That's one of the best ways that you can support me. Subscribe to my channel, like my videos, share this video with someone that you know who might be interested in a home in the Henderson, Las Vegas area in the near future, whether that's buying or selling. I'm happy to help however I can. And then the other thing that you can do to support me is I put in my descriptions of all my videos, there's a link that you can click to set up a no hassle, no obligation consultation with me. If you're thinking about buying or selling, you want to put a strategy in place to make that happen, or see if it makes sense to wait, I'm more than happy to set that up. The best value that I can provide is on an individual basis. Everybody's situation is different. No one's situation is exactly alike. So what works for one may not work for another. And so these consultations give me an opportunity to sit down with you, discuss your situation a little bit, what you're looking to do, what you'd like to get done, whether that's buying, selling, both, or just trying to figure out what you should do. I'm happy to give you my input on that, but again, the decision is always yours. I'm not the type of agent that's going to try to twist your arm and force you into something you're not comfortable with. It's more for me to understand a little bit more about your situation and what I can do to help. So if you'd like to set one of those up, like I said, I'll put the link in my description below. And in the meantime, we'll catch you at the next one. I appreciate you guys for sticking it out this long. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.